Hello and welcome. This is Donna. I want to share with you something I've been working on for a little while now. I'm rather obsessed with sewing notions and lace and fabrics and that whole vintage, vibe. And I will admit I have about anywhere from 1,000 to 200,000 patterns, sewing patterns, yes, with all the wonderful stuff inside. So I did these kits, and this is the first time I've done something like this. So I want to share with you what they are. And I am going to be putting them on my Instagram. And if anybody's interested, you can DM me. But this is what I filled them with. First, I want to show you what I did. I altered a file folder, and I made pockets, extra little pockets, and decorated them with laces and lots of original sewing notions, ephemera, and advertising, and the whole thing is covered with an original pattern instruction. There's some tape, and then I sewed all around it. And what I thought was, you can use everything in this for a sewing journal, but also what's really cool is you could actually, I don't want to really do it, but you could go like that and make that into an actual journal. And it already will have pockets and stuff you could sew down and put your signatures any way you like. But you could use the container that it all comes in too. So let's just start with here. So here is a collection of trims, laces. Some of them have, well, there's all sorts of kinds of trims. There's eyelet and things like that. So that was just kind of tucked in here on a ring, and that was a suggestion from Pam. And in this pocket, I used a handkerchief and made a pocket out of it and decorated at the button. There's an actual button case, or needle case, that I glued right to it. I did my traditional 3D, which I love the look of. And let's get right into the pocket. So here is an old bobbin, paper bobbin. And there is a measuring tape and a button card. Awesome. Every one of these is filled with different original ephemera. So nothing's going to be duplicated here. And there's Chadwick wool, mending wool on a card. And here is, I think it's an iron-on pattern for the letter D. Yeah, because it would be backwards when you iron it on. It would be correct. So I'm just going to push this stuff over to the side there. What else do we have in here? We have hook and eyes. We have snaps. Whoop. I'll fix that before I do anything else with that. So they'll be different, and they're all different, like I said. Here is a sewing book. How fun. That could be used for a pocket, a tuck, anything in your journal. And so could the tags. Each packet, kit, sewing kit is, it has 3 tags in it. This was kind of fun. This was an idea from Shabby Soul. She did these a while ago, where she used the sewing tissue to make booklets. And I just kind of did a wild stitch on that. And I filled the booklet with, there's a glassine bag and just different papers and tissue and just some fun stuff. There's a piece of lace fabric in there. And I love the stamp. I used a lot. So that's in there. Also in there is a glassine bag that will be filled with different fussy cut images that are off the patterns. So those are fun. You can make cards with these. You can put them on a journaling page just as an accent. And this is a pocket. You could also make it a flip if you want in your sewing journal. And I decorated it with laces and a measuring tape and the instructions from a sewing pattern. And it is, like I said, a pocket. It's reinforced here, so it's pretty sturdy. What else do we have? Oh, here's another tag, altar tag. I love it when I can find these tiny measuring tapes. They're usually on a roll, and you pull them out and they snap back. It reminds me of, you know, the man measuring tape, but it's really neat. They're usually pretty cases too. There's another tag, and you can see I used the advertising in the back of a needle case. And these all have, you know, distressed and with lace bits and seam binding, trim. There's another one with a cutout, the seam binding advertisement. Oh, here's a sewing wheel where you can mark the pattern. When we used to use carbon and things like that. This is nice and heavy. It could go in a sewing journal, and it could be flipped and used as a board, you know, underneath for writing. And here I used some of that beautiful dotted Swiss that I love, and a fussy cut image. Okay. Each kit has a pattern, and they'll vary. The theme here kind of really is 50s, so I'll change that out. There is snaps, star snaps, pretty neat. Look, I mean, just look at even the font that they used in their advertising. This is really cool. I would actually photocopy that and use that for something. I mean, it already has a little measuring thing here. Old advertising, especially sewing advertising and fashion advertising, is always so pretty. There was so much thought put into it. Here, these came out of a, I want to say 50s. Yeah, it looks 50s to me. It was probably an embroidery book. There's an embroidery piece. There's another card. And the pile of papers that come out of this will be different. Oh, I found something stuck down here. Okay, so I also did some altered bingo cards. That would make a good tuck, a pocket, a flip, a page, however you want to use it. And I stuck some doilies up there. They are included also. There's 3 right there. And this is from an embroidery book. It's a cross stitch pattern. It must have been a McCall's book. There's that. There's the. Well, that's not so old, but I still found a pretty neat to use as a page in a journal, sewing journal. This is vintage. That came out of one of my books. I have a large collection of sewing books, and they've been hanging around for quite a few years, and it's really time to take them apart and use them. I like it when it's typed too. This probably came out from a book that I was probably familiar with when I took every sewing class they offered in home economics. Then, okay, so I have to ask, what were they thinking with these colors? Yeah, this book had some really strange colors in it, but it's also really fun. The images. Love the feel and the color of this paper. Pattern adjustment. So all these different papers from sewing books will also be in this kit. Okay, let me show you a couple more samples. I made 8 of these. I'm going to just take all this stuff and put it over here so that I can show you another one. This one is really pretty cool, and that's jam-packed with lots of lovelies. Try to repeat all of the notions. That's a large button card, and I I actually did use the men's sewing patterns for some of this. And here's some that aren't filled yet, just so you can see the base again. There's one. This was fun with the apron, which I love. And I altered a glassine bag for this one. That's another way to alter a glassine bag. They're very versatile. And there's quilting needles right there. There's a little zipper, little pink zipper. This is fun. This was linen that you would use in your bread basket to put a baguette in it. And I ran lace all through that. I want to point out she's reading the recipe, which I'm sure he is going to help her and be the sous chef, but he's presently opening a beer. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I am gonna, like I said, put this on my Instagram. So have a beautiful day. I hope it gave you some ideas. If you have these notions and a large, or not even a large, an amount of sewing ephemera, make a file folder with it. Use it for a small flip journal. I hope that inspired you, and you have a wonderful day. Thank you.